Okay, and we're back with a little different background here for parts 6, 7, 8, and 10. Let's see how this works. Okay, I say the sound, you say the sound, and then say the letter. And what I'm going to have you do is circle the letter tile that you would pull out if we were doing this in person. So, for instance, I say eh, you repeat the sound,
Eh.
you say the letter.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, say the letter and then circle it, and then I'll pull it out.
Oh, okay. Sorry, what was the letter?
Right, eh.
I.
Mm-hmm.
I need to put my fingers in.
Are you able to circle? Yeah, there you go. Good. And then I would pull it out. Oops, I'm trying to pull it out. There you go. I. Okay, yay. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Pull it out. Good. How about B?
B.
Yeah. Say the letter.
B.
Mm-hmm. Circle the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled it out. Okay. All right. And now P. P. Say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you heard the, I know you heard the sound, right? Because you circled it, right? Okay, there you go. Nice. All right. How about ing? Say ing.
Ing.
All right. What says ing?
I-N-G.
Yeah. Circle what you would pull out, and I'll pull out for you.
Put it over. Sorry.
That's good. I do it all the time.
Okay, there.
All right. And am. Say am.
Am. A-M.
A-M. There you go. Good. You got it on your welded sound. All right. Why don't you erase your writings, and I'll clear my cards. All right, and now let's go on to part 7. We'll do some spelling. We're gonna look at some schwa words just for review. So the first word, level. Go ahead and say the word.
Level.
Right. Now tap, just so I can see it, you can tap it on your arm, or you can tap it on, if I can hear you tap it on your desk, that's fine. Tap.
Wait.
Good.
I'm gonna go with this.
Okay. You're right, if there's a better place for you to tap, by all means.
Okay.
Great. Now go back and say the first syllable again.
Love.
Spell it out loud.
LED.
Okay.
Like LED. Like.
That's right. And now
like
say the second syllable again.
Oh, E-L.
Very good. And that can be tricky because it's a schwa. Realize I should put the cards up instead of typing it in.
That is tricky.
Right. And now say the word and spell it out loud one more time. Uh-oh. Are you frozen? Or you're standing very still at one of the two. Oh, my connection looks okay.
You froze.
Oh, you froze. Yeah, you froze too. In fact, you're still frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay, go ahead and say the word out loud and spell it one more time.
Did I freeze like this?
No, you froze more like that.
Because you froze like this, and I was trying to look like you.
It's funny.
Okay.
Right.
Level. L-E-V-E-L.
Awesome. Okay. Next one. Magnets. Say magnets.
Magnets.
Yeah, now say it without the suffix.
Magnets.
Good. Now tap the syllables of the base word.
Magnet.
Good. Now go back to the first syllable. Say it again.
Mag.
Good.
M-A-G.
M-A-G. And now say the second syllable again.
E-T.
Let's see. Let me hear. What was the first letter of that?
N.
Great. Okay, I think that just got cut off. N-E-T. Good. And what do you put on the end to make it magnets?
S.
S. Good. Oops. A little glitchy. Okay. Run your finger underneath the syllables as you say the word one more time and spell it one more time.
Okay. Magnets. And then M-A-G-N-E-T-S.
Excellent. All right. We'll do one more schwa word and then we'll move on to some 3.5 words. Tunnel. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Is that dictation?
No, this is not dictation. You'll actually do dictation in your book. This is still part 7. Just the, spelling with the tiles and the syllable cards. Okay, tunnel. Say tunnel.
Tunnel.
Yeah. Now tap out the syllables as you say it.
Okay.
Right. Say the first syllable again and spell it out loud.
Tun. T-U-N.
Mm-hmm. And now the second syllable. Let me hear it again. Oh, you're faking me out. Wait, I think. Yeah. Funny. Funny. Okay, second syllable. Say it again.
O-E-L.
So, a lot of times you're right that that schwa, it's this, that syllable with the schwa in it. It starts with the schwa letter, whether it's an E or U or an I or whatever. But tunnel is one of those words that the N is actually doubled. So in this case, it's tunnel. And that's just one of those things you learn over time. So if I'm going to tap it, I'm going to say tunnel. And then I go back, tun, T-U-N, and then null. You're right that the schwa sound is an E, but in this case, there's an N before it because there's a little bonus N there. Okay, say the word out loud and spell it.
Tun, T-U-N, no, N-E-L.
Excellent. All right, let's do some more 3.5-ish words, current words. And I'm going to I'll put up the syllable frames. If you want, another option you have is instead of tapping on the table, if you want to point to each syllable card on the iPad screen, as you say the syllable, you can do that too. Although I kind of like the tapping because then I can hear it. When I can see you in person, it's okay for you to touch the cards, but maybe stick with the tapping. Okay. Exited. Say the word.
Exited.
Good. Now say it without the suffix.
Exit.
Good. Now tap the syllables of the word, the base word.
Exit.
Good. Go back and tap the first syllable again and spell it.
Egg. E-G-G.
So let's hear that. Listen to how I say it. Exit.
E-G.
It sounds like a G, kind of. It's got that, we make it kind of a G-ish sound, but it's the prefix that means outside. We were talking about it earlier. What's the prefix? And we could look this up in the student notebook now that I think about it. Let me see if I can direct you to what page it's on. Hold on, I gotta find my prefix. Where are my prefixes? Hold on.
I tried.
Give me a second to find. Hold on. I think give me a second to find this. I believe it's 34. No. Okay. Do me a favor. Go to page 35 in your student notebook.
Okay. I'm trying to look like I'm connected.
I'm pretty good. I know when I'm being fooled.
My fan is moving, but you can't see it.
Okay, what did I say?
I don't know why I made a move. It just always won. My room is so loud.
It's fine. I always have my
My mom
phone
always
too.
likes to come over because she's always cold, so she just comes in here because it's the warmest room.
Oh yeah, I'm always warm. Okay, you got your student notebook. You got your student notebook handy? Go to page 35. We'll need it for later on anyway, for proofreading or dictation, so I'm good. Okay, 35. Once you're there, let me know, because I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay, what's the prefix that means out of?
In my student notebook in page 35 is just dictation.
Oh, is it your student notebook or have you got your composition book?
You told me to go in my student notebook and I'm in it.
Because page 35 should not be dictation. It should be prefixes with closed syllables.
See?
Right. So take a look at what the front of that book says.
Okay.
Right. The book you're in right now, what does it say?
It says Wilson Reading System.
Yeah, right.
Sentences. Consonant, diagraph, combination.
Let's see, because I can't tell, because it looked to me like you're in your composition book.
This is the composition book because it says notebook.
So the student notebook says, it's the thing that we look at every time we look up, when we look up the proofreading procedure in the back, and it says...
Yeah, that's the best.
And it says student notebook on the front. So that's your portfolio, your binder has all the books in it.
I'm on the composition thing.
Right, that's not the student notebook. That's the composition book. Right.
So what book did I go to?
We want the student notebook.
Okay. Student dictation, I think.
Or your student dictation book, maybe it's called. Not composition.
WACH, all that kind of stuff.
So, yeah, it says student notebook on the front, and I'm on page 35. I'm sorry, yeah, it's called a student, student dictation notebook on composition. You got it? And you got prefixes with closed syllables? Let's see. That's your student notebook. That's right.
Okay.
You got it.
What page is it?
35.
Okay. I'm there.
All right. Which prefix means out of?
Wait a second, my iPad's gonna go out. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Do what you need to do.
I came out when I went to my bed. Okay. So what were you saying?
Which prefix means out of?
It is EX.
EX, that's right. And as a matter of fact, what's the example word that they show us?
Out of and exit.
Exit, right. And that just happens to be the word that, or the base word that we were spelling. Exit. So see how there's no G in there? It's just it's the X sound. The
Yes.
X sound has a little bit of a G in it. That's basically, that's what's going on. We don't quite say X it. We give it a little exit sound. So let's do this. Now you don't have to look at your notebook. Say exit one more time and tap the syllables of exit. Why don't we do that? Exit.
Exit.
Good. Did you tap the syllables? I don't.
Exit.
Good. Now go back, tap the first syllable again, and spell it. Fun. Get some water first, by all means.
EX.
Excellent. And tap the second syllable. And spell it.
IT.
And what makes it exiting?
ING.
ING. There you go. Oops, not with a capital I. Oh, shit. There you go. Say the word, the whole word, and spell it one more time.
Exiting.
Good.
EXITING.
Awesome. All right. We are going to we're going to talk about high frequency words here for a minute. Normally I would change to the big screen, you know, and I would have you write over the high frequency words, you know, with different colors. Since I don't want to get out of this, I don't want to get out of the screen and then get back into it because that's going to take some time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write right. I think, actually, you know what? I take that back. I think we'll focus on one high frequency word for today, just in the interest of time. And that word is throughout. Go ahead and say that word for me.
Throughout.
Good. And now trace over my writing with a different color. As you spell the word, say each letter as you're tracing over it, please.
Okay. What color? Green. Green. Okay. Now I scoop it.
No, because it's a high frequency word, so you never scoop a high frequency word. Just go over it with any other with any color, you know, that you want. Throughout. Now trace each letter and spell it say each letter as you trace it.
T H R. Sorry, let me please. O U G H O U T.
Good.
Done.
Say the word one more time.
Throughout.
All right, awesome. Let's see. Why don't you go? Well, you know what? Normally I'd have you go over it in one more color, but I don't want this to be too super long. I'd say go over it again, but we'll stick with that for today. Okay, I'll clear that. And all right, it's oh, I want to do. That's right. I want to do another word. Hold on. Clear. Okay. I forgot. I'm going to do one more. I wanted to do one more non-high frequency word, but one more 3.5 word before we went to dictation. My bad. Okay, I'm going to take out your syllable cards.
It is.
There we go.
Not
Okay.
211.
It's a lot.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of cards. Okay, so last word we'll do like this before we do dictation. Unexpected.
Unexpected.
Good. Now say the word without the suffix. Unexpected. We really don't say that word. Actually, if I take the prefix off too, what's my base word? Expect. Let's tap that out. Without the prefix and without the suffix. Tap out expect. Say the syllables and tap them. Great. Go back and say the first syllable again and spell it.
E-C.
Let's see. E-C says...
E-C-K.
So let's tap out the sounds of that. Because you said the syllable correctly. So let me hear you say the syllable one more time.
X.
Let's see. I'm going to say the word one more time and let's have you tap out the syllables one more time. Expect. So let's say expect.
Expect.
Good. Now let's tap out the syllables because you tapped out the syllables correctly the first time. So let me hear you do it one more time.
Expect.
So what says X?
X.
Okay. So let's say that first syllable, or just say it after me. X.
X.
And then pecked.
Pecked.
Good. Now go back and say the first syllable again.
X.
Good. How do you spell it?
EX.
Excellent. And now say the second syllable again.
X.
So I remember we talked about this the other day. The X takes care of the X
X.
sound.
So PECC. PECC.
Excellent. Yeah, remember that discussion. P-E-C-C. Okay. And now, what makes it expected?
ED.
Yeah. And what makes it unexpected?
UN.
There you go. Say the whole word. Run your finger underneath those syllable cards and those prefix and suffix cards. Say the word and then spell it out loud.
Unexpected. UNEXPECTED.
Awesome. All right, we are done with those cards. Now let's do dictation. All right, go to your student dictation book, which I incorrectly called a composition book. Sorry, that's a different class that calls it a composition book. That's my Just Words class. Get your composition, or I said it again, your dictation book, and go to the next blank page.
Is the camera on still?
It is.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Today is, well, let's go over first things first. So we're on step 3.5.
Yes.
And this is lesson 69.
Ooh. Sorry.
That's good.
What's the date?
The 28th, January 28th.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do a few sounds. I say the sound,
Okay.
you repeat the sound, and then you tell me the letter or letters that spells it. Ah.
Ah. Oh.
Yeah, write it down. All right. Ink.
Ink. INK.
Great.
Great.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, no, I'm not asking you to write that down. All.
Oh. ALL.
Yes. Let's do some word elements. And you can use your student notebook to look up the spelling of any of these at any time. And that would be on, let's see, we're going to do some bases. So that would be on Latin bases. They start on page, I believe on page 36. Yeah, 36. Okay, the base, gress. Say it.
Grass.
Great. Since it's one syllable, tap out the sounds. Yeah.
S.
Yeah, so tap out the sound since it's one syllable.
Wait.
Right.
Yeah, G and S.
So the sounds would be G, S. Right, try that.
Okay.
Tap out each individual sound.
G, S.
Good. Remember, when we say the G sound, we want to cut off that at the end and just say G. Just clip our consonants. Okay, how do you spell that?
GRESS.
Awesome. And since it's a base, we put lines before and after to show that we can put a suffix and a prefix if we want, a prefix and a suffix.
Yep.
Great. Next one, the base, pel.
L. PEL.
Yeah. So normally you tap out, since it's one syllable, you say p, ol.
Apple.
Yeah, tap it out. All right. The next one is the bass flecked. Say it.
Flex.
Good. Tap out the sounds.
Full.
Let's see. Let me hear those first two sounds. They sound awful close together. So what's the first sound?
Oh.
Great.
I said.
Okay, I didn't. Oh, maybe I just didn't hear the f. It's
Okay.
hard. It's hard not to hear. All right. How do you spell that?
What?
And now spell it out loud as you write it down. Tell your hand what to write.
Can you say the word?
Yeah, flecked.
Okay. I'm gonna say the word. ELCT.
So read it back. Take your finger, run it underneath, under what you just wrote, and read it out loud to me.
Well. Okay.
Yeah.
SLECT.
There you go. Much better. That's why you always read it back. Okay, let's do a couple real words. First one, helmet. Sorry, helmet, like football helmet.
Yeah.
Right,
Helmet.
so say it. Tap the syllables.
Helmet.
Now go back and say the first syllable.
LHELM. HEL and then
HEL.
MET.
Good. MET, good. Now say the word and spell it one more time.
Helmet. HELMET.
Awesome. All right, next one, impacting.
Impacting.
Right, now say the base word.
Impact.
Great. Tap the syllables of the base word. Great. Go back and say the first syllable again.
MIM.
Great.
Packed. PECK.
Let's see. So let me hear you say that second syllable one more time.
CT.
Right. And what was your vowel? Just if you could.
No, PACT.
There you go. Great. Go ahead and you can write it down. And now what makes it say impacting?
ING.
Good. Write that down. And then once you write that down, why don't you read the word back to me and spell it one more time?
Impacting. IMPACTING.
Awesome. All right, we're going to do one nonsense word.
Okay.
Contemp. Say it.
Contemp.
Yeah, tap the syllables.
Yeah.
Good.
CON.
Mm-hmm.
TIMP.
Yep. Beautiful. All right, we're going to do one high frequency word phrase. Throughout the world. Say it.
Throughout the world.
Good. If you need your notebook to look up throughout, it's in the back of your student notebook.
Okay. Wait.
Your high frequency word section in the back. All right. Are you?
Okay.
Did you write it all for? Okay. And why don't you go ahead and spell throughout out loud for me?
Throughout. THOUGHOUT.
Okay. Go to your student notebook, and we're going to look at the high frequency words in the back. And in fact, for time's sake, I'm going to tell you where to look. It's on page 70.
Okay. Okay. Wait, no. Okay.
Did you get to page 70?
Okay. CHR. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there, I think an R was missing?
Yeah.
Like. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and correct that.
Okay.
All right.
THROUGHT.
Great. And how about world?
WORLD.
Okay, awesome. Now we will do one sentence.
Okay.
We had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
We had to.
Here, I'll say it again. I'll say it as many times as you need me to. We had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
Okay. We had to edit the misprinting inside the text.
So it's the high frequency.
The,
yes.
we had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
Awesome. Take your time.
Okay.
Okay, so
we had. Okay.
Okay, so go to the very back page of your student notebook to your proofreading procedures, page 76, the very, very back. All right, first thing we're going to do is point to each word as I say it.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
We had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
Great, you got it? Go on to number 2. Check for capitalization and punctuation.
Okay.
Okay, and now the next step is circle the high frequency words that I tell you to. So circle these words. We had to the throughout the. Okay. Now, what is step, let's see, what's step number 4? What does that say?
Find all words with a prefix and or a suffix. Underline the base word.
Okay. What has a prefix or a suffix here?
Miss.
That's a prefix, right? Yeah. So circle your prefix and suffix and underline your base word.
And then
Awesome. Okay. How about we're on to number 5 already. Awesome. What does that say?
Have all one-syllable words to check your spelling.
Okay. So there's really only one-syllable word to tap. Do you see which one it is? Text. Good. Tap out the sounds.
Text.
Right. So t, and you can do, do it this way. You do it on the table. T. Like that.
Okay.
Great. And then spell it out loud.
T-E-X-T.
Awesome.
Have all one-syllable words. Oops, no. Scoop it. The misprint.
So actually, yeah, you could scoop. You wouldn't scoop the ing, but you can scoop misprint. Yeah. And why don't you spell that out loud?
Misprint. M-I-S-P-R-I-N-T-I-N-G.
Misprinting. Okay, excellent. All right. Now, that was number 6. Number 7, any errors? We've been over that. Let's look at number 8.
Okay.
All right, scoop your sentence.
I just did that.
You just did it. All right. And then go ahead and read it back.
We had to edit the misprinting throughout the text.
Awesome. And what can we mark up? Let's see. Let's see. Look in the base word print. You have 2 consonant blends in print. You have 2 different consonant. Did you say NT?
Yeah.
Yeah. So mark that as a consonant blend. So it's not a digraph, right? It's not one line. but you get 2 separate lines.
Yeah.
And then at the very beginning of print, you have another consonant blend.
PR.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Now you are done with your writing part. I mean, I will check rather than have you hold up the writing. I'll look at your writing when I see you again in person, because it won't be that much longer. Okay, you can put your dictation away. All you have to do now is sit back and listen.
Okay.
So yeah, you're good. All right, I'm going to pull up my story here.
Is it the dog story?
Yeah, right. It's Bailey's story. So I'm going to ask you while I'm pulling it up. Do you remember? Sorry about my wiggly camera.
I remember him the police or something coming to find him. Or is that a different story?
I think that's a different story. There's been no police involvement here so far. But there was, you may be thinking that because there was some trouble involved. They were on Grandpa's farm.
Yeah, that was the idea, and then his brother. Okay, yeah. Then we left off when he was in the alley, and then I think that guy, his friend, found him.
He lured him, and then and then Bailey eventually got out. So that's a really good memory, because that was a while ago that we read that. And then since then, he went to Grandpa's farm, and he got into some trouble there, with a stinky animal. Let's just say he got into some trouble with the skunk, and that was the last time we read it. But again, I mean, this was, it's been a while since we've read this particular story.
I didn't read it.
I can't remember. I'd have to look back in my records to see exactly the last time we read it. So before I start reading, because I'm just, I'm gonna pick up where we left off, and I'll ask you to think about if there's ever been a time where you weren't sure whether what you were doing was the right thing to do. Whether you weren't sure, maybe it was at school, maybe it was at home, maybe it was when you were at your grandparents' house, when you're not quite sure what somebody's maybe asking you to do.
Okay.
So just to think about that. There's ever been a time, I mean, I can say for sure, for me, when I started my job recently, when I started teaching school, was like, well, let's see. I think I basically knew what to do, but there have been times.
When we log into your Zoom, it's think of 3 things that you are grateful for today. Something that isn't on.
That's on, right? That's what you see. Yeah, right. Which is, it's lovely, right? I always do that because I see that too when I log on to my Zoom meetings at work, and I always think of 3 things I'm grateful for. So it's a nice little reminder. Okay. So here's where we left off. Where we left off is this. They're telling Bailey that he has to get a bath. And hold on, I gotta move my camera so that I can read my text. And okay, there we go. A bath? What was that? I couldn't remember. Was it something to eat? That would help to make up for all this ridiculous treatment. But it turned out that a bath wasn't something to eat. Mom brought out some soap that smelled a little bit, not very much, I thought, like roses. Ethan rubbed the suds into my fur until I smelled like a cross between Mom, a flower garden, and a tomato. I had never been so embarrassed in my life, and things didn't get much better after that. Even once I was dry, I had to stay out on the porch, and when Ethan came out there to sleep, he kicked me out of his bed. "You stink, Bailey," he said. I lay on the floor and tried a whimper or two, but Ethan didn't give in and let me climb up. So I just tried to sleep despite all of the strange, bewildering smells floating around. When morning finally came, I gulped down breakfast. Ethan brought my food bowl out to the porch for me and raced outside. A good roll in the grass helped me to rub some of those dreadful odors off my fur. And when I checked out the pond, I got lucky. Something was lying on the bank, a dead fish. It was small, but the smell was good and strong. I rolled in it over and over, twisting my back to get the scent ground in properly. It didn't help as much as I thought it would, though. Under the marvelous dead fish smell, I could still sense tomato and perfume and that horrible tang of skunk. Tang is like a smell that's so bad you can almost taste it. I needed, hold on, catch my page. Okay. I needed to figure all of this out, so I headed back for the woods. Sure enough, my nose led me quickly to that skunk. I sniffed at her, hoping that I'd pick up some information that would explain what had been going on. And the very same thing happened. She lifted up her tail, and from her rear end of all places, another powerful blast of stink hit me right in the face. I yelped and backed away as quickly as I could. What was going on? Couldn't that skunk tell I just wanted to play? And if she didn't feel like playing, why didn't she just run away or hide or jump up on something tall, like Smokey or the barn cat always did? Oh, you know what? I realized I forgot to mention to you, as I'm reading this, and we've only got a little bit more, be making a movie in your mind of what you're hearing, of what I'm describing, what you're, the smells, the sounds. So, sorry, I meant to start out by reminding you of that. Shaking my head, blinking, I stumbled back out of the woods. Oh, Bailey, Ethan moaned when I found him by the fence. You're kidding me. I was put through the whole thing again. The water from the hose, tomatoes from the garden, and Mom's horrible fake flowery soap. Was this going to be my life now? Every day? Would I ever be let back into the house where Grandma's cooking smelled so delicious? Would I ever sleep in the bed next to my boy again? You are so stupid, Bailey, the boy scolded as he scrubbed me. Grandma was watching this time. Don't call him stupid. It's such an ugly word, she said. And he's hardly more than a puppy. He didn't know what he was doing. Tell him he's a doodle. That's what my mother always called me when I was a little girl and I did something wrong. The boy faced me sternly. Bailey, you are a doodle. You are a doodle dog. And then he laughed and Grandma laughed, but I was so miserable I could barely move my tail. Just to show that skunk I was going to ignore her. That would serve her right after everything she put me through. All right, so take a minute, play that movie back in your mind. Everything you pictured, everything you thought of, everything you sort of saw in your mind as I read.
Okay.
I'll take another minute or two. Rewind and play. And when you feel like you could tell me the story back, go ahead and retell me what we read.
So they're at the farm. They're at the farm, and Bailey got a skunk sprayed him, and then Ethan's mom put Bailey in the bathtub and put tomato sauce on him, and then a stinky shampoo to him, or something, and then he couldn't sleep with Ethan, so he was sad that he could do it. And then he went back into the woods to try to play with the skunk, except then the skunk just sprayed him again. And then Mom had to put him back inside the bathtub with tomato sauce. And then Ethan got mad at him. And then his grandma told him to say that he was like, I don't know what the word was, I forgot. But yeah.
Doodle. Yeah.
Doodle.
So do you remember that was really good. Yeah, you got to learn about him being angry, and how do you think Bailey was feeling with all the anger and all the frustration that was going on? Do we have any
Ethan?
Yeah. How do you think what do you think we know about how Bailey felt about it? Sad, and also I'm looking maybe
kind of angry that he couldn't go back to Ethan's bed.
Right. And he's confused, right? I mean, which makes you sad and angry when you're confused. And that's, why I asked that question at the beginning, is sometimes if you don't know that what you're doing is right or wrong, but then you hear people, a teacher or a parent gets angry, that leads to a lot of confusion, right? Do you remember what the other thing is that he rolls in the grass?
No. Poop?
Let's see. I mean, that's a good guess, but let's see. It's, hold on.
Because when I went to farm camp, I got so much poop on my shoe, I didn't care anymore.
It's so gross. After a while, it can only smell so bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll reread this little bit again. A good roll in the grass helped me to rub some of those dreadful odors off of my fur. And when I checked out the pond, I got lucky. Something was lying on the bank. A dead fish. It was
Oh, I
small.
did.
Yeah, it was small, but the smell was good and strong. I rolled in it over and over, twisting my back to get the scent ground in properly. So, can you picture that? Have you ever seen a dog smell something in the grass?
I've seen a dead fish at a park, and then John picked it up. With
So
my friend.
maybe you haven't seen a dog encounter it, but you've seen a younger brother encounter a dead fish. That's pretty gross. What I picture,
Dog, so
right?
yeah, I have.
You know, when maybe you've never seen a dog with a dead fish, but maybe you've seen a dog with either like another dog's scent or something. Have you seen the way they roll around? That's what I picture in my mind when I read this. Like, oh, a dead fish. They do that thing where they kind of twist.
I've seen a blue fish and Bailey's mouth just rolling around in the grass.
Yeah, gross. Dogs will be dogs, right? All right. Fantastic job, Maggie. So that was everything. That was through part 10. So I think I hopefully covered everything that I meant to. Let me just check my notes here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop our movie.